Hello, welcome to our first ever West End event as part of Talks at Google. My name's Rob LEWORTHY. I'm one of the co-leads here with Christina, and I'm very pleased to welcome Colin Cloud and Dave Williamson from the Illusionists, which is playing just over the road at the Shaftesbury Theatre until January 3rd. We're going to do an interview with them shortly, but first they're going to do a small act for us. Brilliant. So let's start a round of applause over here. You, sir, could you start applauding for me? And let's get the round of applause going this way, this way, this way, this way. A massive whip and cheers for Dave Williamson.
Oh. Thank you very much. There you go. That is another key difference between the United States and England. We always start our applause from this side. Amazing. Everything's different. Well, thank you. This is great. It gives me an opportunity to do a little magic for you. Some of the things that you wouldn't see if you come to the show across the street, which we hope you do. Let me try something. Does anybody have a piece of rope or string about 6 feet? And just happen to have one right here. Hi, sir. You look very intelligent with those glasses, and sitting up front, you look like a go-getter. That's what I think you are. Would you examine that piece of rope, verify for all your friends that there are no trapdoors, escaping gases, strings, mirrors, anything like that? No Scientology in there. There's a little bit on the other end, but does it look okay? Okay, thank you very much for dismissing the whole procedure. Oh, looks like a rope. I don't care. Because in about 2 minutes, you're going to be going, I wish I would have spent more time with the rope. He's doing miracles with that thing. Obviously a trick rope. I didn't take my job very seriously, so here's your second chance to really get into it. Looks like a rope. Check it out. You will verify now when your friends come to you at lunch and go, really, what was going on with the rope? You can now say, with honesty, looks like a rope. Still look like a rope. Does anybody have a bangle or a ring or a bracelet, solid, with no gaps or openings, about 10 inches in diameter, steel, chrome-plated? I just happen to have one as well. We'll use mine. Hi, sir. How are you? Would you examine that? Verify that that, too, is absolutely solid. There are no gaps or openings. There is a little weld spot there. I see you went right to that. Yeah, very good. But I want you to make sure it is a weld spot and it's been chromed over top of the weld. There are no openings or gaps. Yes. Does it look solid to you? And I'm not going to do the hack line. Do you see any holes? And they say no. And I go, right there, stupid. I'm not going to do that to you. I will not insult you. And you got the memo about the dress code. Look at this guy. Look at this. He's a little David Williamson here. Mini-me. Okay. Thank you. It's awesome. Just revealed my double. Now the switch will not fool anyone. Would you hold the ring? Now here's the way this one works. It's an old puzzle. These are folk puzzles. So magicians, modern day magicians, we comb through all the archives of all the old puzzles and we try to update them. How do you take the ring off the rope without untying the knots? Untying the knot, rather. You can release there, Mongo, thank you. How do you take the ring off of the rope without untying the knot? It's kind of a Zen-like concept. If you think about it, it can't be done, but you can provide the illusion. If I double the rope through the ring, when I do this for kids, I love to do magic for people of all ages, I say, any difficult problem is easy to solve with the help of a friend. And you're going to be my friend. I want you to hold the ring only, close your eyes, and count to 3. Seriously. Hey, he did it. Nice job. He has no idea how he did it, but he did it. So the skeptics in the room always say, I know how you did that. You didn't really put the ring on the rope. You were telling your dumb jokes, and you went like this, and you created sort of a confusing image. So when you pulled the ring off the rope, it was never really on the rope. And to them, I say, that's right. That's exactly how it's done. There's no other way. Solid ring, solid rope. I'd have to be a real magician to actually pass the ring through the rope. What? Here's the deal. And only at Google would I do this. I'm going to tell you how it's done. Yeah, because I think you might find it interesting. Would you hold the ring once again? And what is your name? Graham. Thank you, Graham. A pair of scissors. Cutting through the rope like that. Scissors cutting through the rope. Sir, you act like you see this stuff every day. He's just like, I see more amazing things on my screen every day. This is reality. It's not that it is reality. It's actually happening, sir. There are 2 pieces of rope which are not exactly the same size. I guess I cut it off center. All right. Ab blaster, QVC. Okay, thank you. Keep them stuck together with super glue. Bing, no individual clapping, sir. I appreciate that, though. I don't get out much. Okay, how do you watch the 2 ends as they go into Dave's pocket? Except for this one. Oh, stays out here with this one. Bing, and this is the big applause cue, the middle, ta-da, bam, right there in the pocket. You can examine that again, Graham. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. That went well. Let's do another one. Okay. Otherwise, I'd just run off and bring Colin up. But I'll try another one since you seem to be into this stuff. Does anybody shuffle cards? Does anybody know their way around a deck of cards and know how to shuffle? Yeah. Okay. Come on up here. Give him a round of applause. Thank you, sir. This is a deck of, we call these seconds. See how it says seconds? Shuffle them up. Make sure it's a real deck. At the Shaftesbury Theater, I destroy a deck of cards every night. We're doing over 80 performances in the 2 months we're here, and I said, I'm not bringing 80 decks of cards in my luggage. Go buy some from the local store. So they went and they bought the cheapest. They're called seconds, and the printer, there might be a little, ink problems, or there might be something like that. That's why they're called seconds. It doesn't look like a regular deck of cards, but it is a regular deck of cards. They just have some irregular. I don't even know why I'm pointing that out. It's not important to the trick. Tell me your name.
Jan. Jan.
Jan.
Yes.
Jan. Oh, I like that. Take any card you like, Jan.
This one.
You sure? I was hoping you'd go for the one next to it. All right, well, we'll do a different trick, Jan. Don't let me see it. Don't let me see it. Oh. Jan's juggling show. Hey. Did you get it?
Yes.
Show it to everybody. Oh, you can even show it to the camera. I will hide my eyes here in the blackout curtain. Can everybody see it? Okay, hide it, Jan. Here I come. Face down. Place it back in the pack. Now, let me just show everybody. They're all shuffled up. It's a normal deck. You put it back in the pack anywhere you like, Jan. $27. Okay, now, Jan, your card is shuffled into the deck. I like Jan's body position there. He's all close. Never know what to do with their hands. Okay, Jan, here's what I'm going to do. Do you remember your card?
Yes.
When I snap my fingers, your card will jump from the center of the pack, believe it or not, fly through the air, and I'll catch it in my other hand. Are you ready for this, Jan? I don't know. Okay, me too. Here we go. Watch. 14 years of my life to learn that crap. Jan, what was your card?
Spades 2.
Spades 2? Is that right?
Sorry.
Controversy.
Language problem here.
Oh.
Diamond.
Diamond.
Diamond 2.
Diamond 2. And it's changed into the 3 of clubs. That's called magic where I come from, Jan. Was it really the spade 2, or was it the diamond 3, or what was it? Anybody? It really was the 2 of diamonds.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to have Colin come up here. This is not going well. Oh, there it is, right where you left it. 27 from the top. No wonder it didn't find it. Okay. Well, this happens. That's called live theater at the Shaftesbury. It's more rehearsed. I'm trying stuff I've never tried. Do me a favor. Put your hand on top of the torn pieces of 3 club. We're going to try this. It doesn't always work, but we're going to try this. We're going to take your diamond 2 and stick it under your hand. I'm going to say the magic words. Hope to heck it works. The card that was once torn, Jan, the 3 of clubs. Ooh, chill. Just went up my... What could possibly be under your hand? Turn the pieces over and show the people that you do, in fact, have the diamond 2, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Thank you, Jan. Hold the pieces. Make a fist. Squeeze tight. Hold your hand high in the air. Do you believe in the healing powers?
Yes.
Not much. No. Where I come from, you have to have more conviction. Say, I believe. Repeat after me. I will never say what other people tell me to say.
people tell me to say.
Okay. I'm going to blow on your hand with my laser breath. Ooh, cool watch. Open your hand. Have those pieces indeed feel the healing powers of Jan. He will blow on your foreheads later and make all the wrinkles disappear. There it is. Give it up for Jan. Jan, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Wait a minute. Go like this. Blow on your hand. Press on the card and say this word. Psst. Like a steam press. Lift up your hand. Those wrinkles verify that, Jan, are gone. That is steam pressed, as good as new. There it is. Give it up for Jan one more time. Thank you, sir. You can have that deck of cards. There's the box. Thanks, Jan. Okay, let me try one more. I knew I was going to be coming here for Google, technology company, obviously. So how do you combine magic with technology? I've done it. I figured it out. You're welcome. Take an early lunch. Okay. This is it, a deck of cards. And if you think about what a deck of cards is, and I know Ollie's going to give us a close-up of the table here. If you think about what a deck of cards is, a deck of cards is a collection of information, right? Colors, numbers, suits, kind of like a database. Let's keep that shot there if we don't mind, so that everybody can see. Now this is an interesting deck of cards because I've run them through a little printer. Now let's find somebody, an uninterested party. You haven't seemed interested the whole time. Hi, would you help me? As I riffle my thumb through, what are you doing? Why are you approaching Magic Dave? Just stay in your seat. Oh my God. Just pointed at you. Hey, it's all about me. Come on. Let me have some me time. I don't get enough over there at the theater every night. I'm kidding. What is your name? Christina. All I'm going to ask you to do is just call the word stop as I pull my thumb through the pack. That way you'll randomly select one of the cards. Right there? All right. That will be your randomly selected card. Please remember it. I will avert my gaze so I do not see what it is. I can't see that. It's too far. Five of hearts. Okay. Now watch this. Now, Ollie, let's see if we can get that really close shot that we talked about earlier. Here's what I'm going to do. There we go. Yeah, super close. I love it. I love it. Look at that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give the deck a shuffle. Now, this is a very special shuffle. Let's call it the Google shuffle. Interleave the cards, and if you think of this like a computer screen, 52 scan lines of resolution, it actually starts to say the word unshuffle, which is what I'm doing. I'm shuffling the cards, but I'm separating the four suits. Let me do that again. The more I shuffle, the more unshuffled they become. Look at the screen. No batteries required. Beautiful resolution. One final shuffle, and it becomes very clear that Magic Dave had a lot of by himself time as a child. Sitting in his house, shuffling cards. All the other kids were out playing football and talking to girls. The deck is completely unshuffled. What does that mean, unshuffled? Well, if you remember, I showed you a shuffled deck of cards. But if you look at them now, we'll get that close-up shot again, if you don't mind there, Ollie. They're all in order. All the spades are in order. Diamonds, clubs, hearts, and spades. All the diamonds, all the clubs, all the hearts, all the spades. Ace through king, just like they came from the factory. That is an unshuffled deck. But I know what you're saying. You're saying, wait a minute, Dave, that's not magic. That's technology. We do that better than you. It's true. But there was a famous quote, and I'm sure all of you know it, by Arthur C. Clarke. I'm going to shuffle them again. Spades into the clubs, diamonds into the hearts. He said very famously, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. I always love that quote. What was your card, Christine? Do you remember? Don't remember. Five of hearts. There it is. Thank you, folks. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Well, that's my time. It is my true pleasure to introduce the next artist, and he's making huge waves over at the Shaftesbury Theater in the Illusionists, and it's a pure pleasure spending time with him. You'll be seeing him on your television soon and touring live. Please welcome the amazing Colin Cloud. There he is.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Very good afternoon. Are you well? Good. There was almost an awkward pause there. I was worried. But before we go any further, before I tell you anything about you, I think it's only right you know a tiny bit about me. I'm not actually from this part of the world. I'm from a place up right in the middle of Scotland, a place that you may have been to, heard of, avoided. I don't know. It's a place called Hart Hill. That is the most positive reaction I've ever had for Hart Hill. But I left there very quickly. I went to university in Glasgow where I got my honours degree in what's called forensic investigation. People usually clap or cheer at that point. 12 of you, thank you. And I specialize in what's called criminal profiling. That's not why you're here today. Some of you actually shifted your position on your chair. But it has led to me learning some pretty weird and amazing things to do with the mind, especially when it comes to Sherlock Holmes, who is my inspiration for everything that I do. Arthur Conan Doyle once famously wrote that by a man's fingernails, by his shirt cuff, by the calluses on his thumb and forefinger, by his expression, by each of these things a man's calling is plainly revealed. Notice he only mentioned men, because even back then he knew it was impossible to read a woman's mind. Not an idiot. But everything he did fascinates me, the idea of memory, knowledge, deduction, and that's what I want to play with right now with all of you. Let's just take this deck, and would you mind giving this half a shuffle? And would you do the exact same? Just mix up those cards, shuffle them up. In a moment, not yet, I'm going to ask some of you to lend weird or unusual objects that you have with you in your pockets or your bags. If you have, don't bring it out just yet. It's important that I never see what it is. But if you could think, if you have something weird or unusual that isn't just an iPhone, wallet, watch, that would be amazing, okay? May I take these? And would you point out someone here behind you that you don't know? This gentleman right here, would you please take half of the cards, hold on to them, don't do anything. If you want to shuffle them one more time, you can. And behind you, someone that you don't know. This lady right here. So you take them. Would you please take this half of the cards? Perfect, right. Don't do anything with them yet other than mix them up a little bit more if you want to. That's totally fine. But I also need the help of someone who has experience in blindfolding. Not the sort of thing you normally admit to at a public event, but I notice about 8 of you perked up there. Let's go for lady blonde hair. Hi, what's your name? Again? Caroline. 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 Look at me. Now it's Caroline. No, Caroline. Perfect. Would you please stand up? Does this lady look like the sort of person that we can trust? No. Interesting hesitation. I'm going to trust you. Give her a huge hand as she makes her way up. I won't embarrass you, okay? Would you please stand right here for me? Good. Right, I'm going to move this table. Wow, it's heavier than it looked in the photos. You will see a few things that we're going to use, okay, in a moment, not yet. Would you first of all check these two 50p coins are real, regular 50p coins. Make sure there is nothing weird or unusual about them, just regular coins. Hold them up to the light. Make sure no little holes, trapdoors, anything solid. Yes, some people like to bite on them as well.
No, it's all right.
Cool. No one's ever done that. But they are real, right? You can set them back on the table. And also, this is a Kevlar scarf. You can make sure that no light comes through this, correct? Perfect. The eyelid is one of the weakest muscles we have in the human body. If you can try this, you can close one eyelid, but even the slightest amount of pressure on that eyelid will mean that it's impossible to open up your eye, the slightest amount of pressure. So we're going to lock my eyelids closed in place with the 50p coins held in position by gaffer tape. Things just got very 50 shades of grey, right? First of all, make sure that coin is on there solid, yes? Perfect. Can you see the rest of the tape all along there? I've tried to fold in the edges so that you can pick it up easily from the material in case it's stuck, but you can all see that coin goes right over my right eye socket. Could you hold your right hand up like this? Use this part of your hand to press it down. Only use that part, don't use your fingers, otherwise you'll get like a popping sound, and we don't want that, right? So just press that down. Perfect. Happy that that's stuck there, yes? Good. When this next piece goes on, I will no longer obviously be able to see, but you can see the rest of the tape here, yes? And if you do have a weird or what a great time to walk in late. I mean, really. Wow. Welcome to the pirate show. If you have a weird or unusual object, this is the time to think about it and get it ready, okay? So you can see this coin here goes into this eye socket. And again, would you please press that down? Thank you very much. Take the next piece of tape. There's a few spare. We don't need to use them all if we don't have time, but I want to cover my face with as much of that tape. Have you got a piece?
Yes.
Perfect. We'll put that where my eyes used to be. Take the next piece. You just keep grabbing the pieces. Everyone now in the room, get your weird or unusual object ready, because in a moment we're going to borrow a few of these, okay? 2 more pieces, I think, are on there? Yes, perfect. We'll put this part a little bit lower for anyone that thinks I can see down the way. And there's one more piece on there as well. You're going to press this all down again yourself. One more piece. We'll put that just underneath here for anyone that thinks that's where I can see. Could you press all that down? Make sure that it's definitely stuck.
It's stuck.
It's and do press around the bottom of my eyes, even just with your fingers now, just beneath my eyes. Make sure that it's stuck to my flesh all the way around, yes?
It is.
Yeah, she's done this before. Right. Pick up there's a scarf, the scarf I just showed you, yeah? Could you lay that across my two palms? Thank you very much. I'm going to throw the two ends behind. Can you grab the two ends and tie them in a nice tight knot? Tighter, play rough. Good, and double knot it as well. Happy?
Yep.
Lovely. Could you now go out into the audience, take my right hand first of all, and put my fingertips on the middle of the table so that I get my bearings and balance, okay? Would you now please very carefully go out. If you have a weird object, quietly hold it up in the air so that you can see where they are. Go out and collect 3 of them for me, okay? Do that now. The 4 of you who now have cards from the deck, could you now spread them so that you can see all the cards? Say yes over here if you can see yours. Yes, yes, and yes. So you're spreading them. I want you all to say out loud the first card that you can see in your spread now. At the same time, okay? So one more time. That's all right, that's okay. At the same time, say it out loud now. Perfect. Say the second card now. Let's get faster. The next card. Next, faster. Next, faster. Faster. Keep going, faster. 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 Keep going, keep saying them louder. Louder, faster, faster. Make sure you go all the way to the end. Say all of them. Done. Right. What I need all 4 of you to do now is sort them into the suit. So all the spades together, the hearts together, clubs together, and diamonds together, okay? Do that right now, and I'll come back to you in a second. As soon as you get those 3 objects, Caroline, if you could come back up to the stage, and I'll know that you're coming back because everyone's going to give you a huge round of applause as you make your way back. Are you back? Good. The table is roughly here. Could you lay the objects in a line so that everyone else can see them? Please do not say what the objects are. Did you get 2 or did you get 3?
I got 3.
You got 3. Perfect. If you see what they are, please, again, don't say out loud. What I would like you to do, first of all, are you still here?
Yes.
With your right hand, pick up any one of the objects, hold it nice and high. I'm going to ask that the camera just doesn't zoom in on this just yet until we see. This is just slipping out somewhere tighter. Right, just so that we don't see what it is, okay? So, the person that owns this object, can you please say the word hello?
Hello.
Hello. Do you know the game word association where someone says a word and you say a word connected to it? Like if I said banana, you could say apple. But you could also say cherry or pear. Make sense?
Okay.
I'm going to ask you 3 words and say the next thing that comes to mind. Do not say your object. Just keep the object at the back of your mind, okay? So, word number 1. Say the next thing that comes to mind. Word number 1 is the word snowman.
Carrot.
Again?
Carrot.
Carrot. Word number 2 is the word water.
Bottle.
Bottle. And word number 3 is the word chair.
Desk.
Quite an aggressive desk as well that I noticed. Right. I think I know. I'm going to struggle with that. Sit that one back down. I'm going to come back to you in a second. Pick up a different object for me. Just still warming up. I'm going to try and get all of these, okay? Pick up a different object. Hold it nice and high. Can the person who owns this object say hello? Hello. We'll try this in 2 words with you, okay? So same game. Say the next thing that comes to mind. So word number 1 is the word deep. Again? Pool. Oh, thank you for translating. Word number 2 is the word snow. Snowman. Snowman. Okay. Think I've got it. Sit it back down. There should be 1 object left, yes? Pick up that object. Can the person who owns it say hello? Hello. Do you play sports, sir, first of all? Yeah. Yes. What's your main sport? I'm going to try this in 1 word with you, okay? The word I'm going to give you is the word cheese. Set that object back down. I think the first object, we'll go back to that with the 3 words over here. Hold it nice and high. Is this something sentimental with you?
Yes.
Yes. You had it for a while, yeah? Yes. Was it given to you, or did you pick it up yourself when you were somewhere specific? Given to you. It's going to be some kind of, like, I think, little charm type thing. I either thought it was going to be a little... It's not a tennis ball, is it? No. Is it some kind of rock with some kind of little chain attached to it? Is that kind of close?
Sort of.
Sort of. Oh, I think that's as close as I'm going to get it. Would you? I'm still warming up with you, right? But tell us, what is the object? How close am I?
You're quite close. It's on a train.
What is on the? Is it like a little rock or a pebble?
No, it's a little soft toy.
A little soft toy. Oh, but it's on a chain though. I was right with that, yeah?
Yes, you are.
I'm going to take that. Right, okay. Can you take my hand again? The second thing, where were you? Say hello again back here. It was hello. With you, I'm going to be honest. Was it something? Was it a plaster? Is that what it was? Yes. And the final one was only one word, right? So I don't know exact. Is this? Have you? The man I said the word cheese to. Hello. This isn't a glasses case, is it? No. Then it's going to be some kind of little glass bottle with liquid inside. I'm going to guess probably some kind of aftershave or fragrance type thing. Is that pretty close? Yes! Excellent. Caroline, take my right hand. Could you put it back on the middle of the table again? Oh, perfect. I move around quite a lot when I do this. So would you please pick up the three objects, give them back to the people that just lent them to us, and you'll get a huge round of applause for helping. Give it up for Caroline. Thank you. And let me just... this is my least favorite part. If I look surprised when this comes off, it is because I no longer have eyebrows. And you're all still here. Thank you. So, four of you... That's a gift. Try it later. The four of you with playing cards, sorted them into order, yes? Okay. Could I ask you please to stand up where you are, try and cover the backs of the cards as well so that no one thinks I can see what they are. In fact, just for ease, I think it'd be great if the four of you, can we give them, welcome them onto the stage. Give them a hand as they come up. Would you please stand right here for me? Can I please ask, would you just stand over here? Hello. Nicely covered. And would you come and stand right here? Okay, so this way you can see if I'm right, and I will join all of you. Someone name a suit in the playing cards. Hearts. Could you all now hold the cards so that you can see them? I'll warm up facing you. I will turn away in a second, but just so I make sure I've got you in the right way, I've remembered you. Would I be right in saying that you have the ace of hearts? Yes, you also have the 2. Yes, but you've got the 3. Yeah, you've got the 4? Yeah. You've got the 5? You've got the 6? You've got the 7 and the 8? You've got the 9, the 10? You've got the jack? You've got the queen? You've got the king? Yes, good, right. Name a... There are 2 that I've misheard, right? So I'll come back to them because 3 of you are a bit louder, but that's okay. Name a different suit. Clubs. You've got the ace of clubs. The one, no, that's okay. The one that looks like a little puppy paw. Welcome to Google. Something to search later, right? Do you see? Perfect. Thank you. It's funny, right? If you're not used to cards, though, so thank you so much for helping, right? But you've got the ace. Yes? You've got the 2. You've got the 3. You've got the 4. You've also got the 5. You've got the 6. You've got the 7. You've got the 8. You've got the 9 as well. You've got the 10. Yes? You've got the jack. You've got the queen. And you've got the king. Yes! Good. Right. Let's get faster. Hearts and clubs. 2 suits left. Name a different suit. Diamonds. Diamonds. Let's get faster. You've got the ace of diamonds. You've got the 2. Yes. You've got the 3. You've got the 4. You've got the 5. Yes. You've got the 6. You've got the 7. And you've got the 8. You've got the 9. The 10. You've got the jack. You've got the queen. And you've got the king. Yes. Good. One last suit, which is obviously spades. So we'll do this very fast, okay? We'll do this very, very quickly. And then you've got the ace of spades. Yeah, you've got the 2, you've got the 3, you've got the 4, you've got the 5, you've got the 6, you've got the 7, you've got the 8, you've got the 9, you've got the 10, you've got the Jack, you've got the Queen, you've got the King, and you've got the Joker. You were wondering whether or not I was going to say it. Is that right? Yes! Give them all a huge round of applause. Leave the cards on the table. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Colin Cloud and Dave Williamson. Thank you so much for coming in. So you're at the show The Illusionists. Perhaps you could tell us a bit about the show and how you got involved in it.
So the show essentially, it's like a mashup of different genres of magic. And in my opinion, every performer in that show is at the top of their game for the genre of magic or mystery entertainment that it is they do. And the show essentially is a showcase of that variety over the course of an evening. It's at a fast pace. You picked up on the fact there's a live band there. It's made to feel very much, to an extent, like a bit of a sort of upbeat, energetic type piece. And yeah, it's been going very well.
Very good. And it's playing in Broadway and touring North America. So
yeah, it's quite the commute every morning. It's hellish.
And so the different iterations of the show, how did you kind of have to work within a pre-existing format, or did you kind of bring your own things to it?
Well, there is a format. This show started in Sydney Opera House about 4 years ago during a festival. And the producers put together these genres. They brought an illusionist, and they brought a comedy act, and they brought a mentalist and a manipulator, a classic manipulator. And it went down so well that it was extended. And then it went on tour in Australia. And then they realized that there was a market for it. People just loved the show. So it's been touring the world for 3 years. So in North America, it's been on tour. And when this opportunity came up to bring the show to the West End, Broadway said, well, bring it to Broadway as well at the same time. So basically the producers took the main cast, split them in half, put each half in a different city, and then sort of filled in the slots, basically, with other entertainers. And there's a third tour right now happening in Australia. It's called The Illusionists 1903. And that's a completely different cast, and it's less rock and roll, less glitzy. It's a throwback to the vaudeville, the classic era of the golden age of variety entertainment. So.
Brilliant. And with Darren Brown is playing just down the road here, and we've had the Impossible was in London last year. So what do you think? There's a resurgence in seeing magic live? Is that something that's come off recently, or?
Yeah, I think, I mean, magic's something, I mean, you see it on TV and you dismiss it right away as a camera trick or with stooges if you want, right? Whereas I think it's like anything. You can listen to a CD in the car, but to actually go see the band live is a totally different experience. And it's certainly with a show like ours, where it does, as you've seen, rely a lot on audience interaction and the assistance. I mean, it's fully immersive, so it's a completely different experience to any other, type of theatre or musical that's happening in the West End at the moment. So I do think, and I'm delighted that it has become more popular and people can now go see quality live magic entertainment.
Yeah. So when you're coming up with a new illusion, do you start with a story that you want to tell, or do you start with a trick itself? Where do you start on that journey?
Well, I think early on in your career, you start with the trick itself. You say, oh, I want to do this amazing trick and just amaze people. But then as you get on and you build a career out of it, you realize that there are stories to tell, and there are emotions to tap, and there's a narrative you may want to push. And I think that's an evolution of a career that people who begin in magic, it's all about the tricks and the secrets and worship me. I mean, I think at its core, every entertainer is just looking for love, Basically, it's attention getting, look at me. And then as you mature and your career becomes a little more, I need to Google this. I'm at a loss for words here.
That's good.
You understand what I'm trying to say.
So I think I was blown away, perhaps, because I've seen you, Colin, at the Edinburgh Fringe before in quite a small, intimate venue. So how does working in a 1,200-seat theatre differ from either doing close-up magic, Dave, that you do, or versus, kind of a small fringe venue?
I think bizarrely it's easier. Certainly the theatre we're in, it's a huge theatre, 1,400 seats, but it still feels very intimate. So for me, the more people there are, the easier it is. This is like the smallest performance I've done now in the last few months, and it's terrifying. I can feel you all looking at me, and it's, I hate it. But no, but I mean, the more people, like, the more energy, and people are there because they want to see that type of thing. So they're on our team from the off, and it's just it's a delight.
Sure. And how did you get into magic?
I mean, genuinely, was never really into magic until later on because I was fascinated by genuinely Sherlock Holmes at 8 years old. When I was 10, discovered he never actually existed. Gutted, yeah. Two people odd, thank you. But by then the bug had bit, and I was really big into science and more genuinely hypnosis than I was ever with magic. But then realized Sherlock Holmes had this wonderful esoteric skill set of pickpocketing, lock-picking, which then led kind of more into that. So as much as reading people and situations, he had these other skills, and my fascination more grew from that.
So you weren't, because I was the 8-year-old boy with the Paul Daniels magic kit. I think that's kind of where I kind of played with
See,
that.
I got that, but then my cousin Karen, she was way better at the tricks than me, so put me right off. Yeah.
And Dave, what about you?
I have the classic story of the magic set for the birthday party at 8 years old, and then you go to the library and you realize that if you don't return the books, your friends will never see the secrets. So, of course, I have all the original library books still in my home, as do all my magician friends. I can tell where they grew up by their library books. They still contain. But yeah, so I've been doing it since I was a kid. I was bit by the magic bug very early. I turned to my mother when I was age 10. I said, I'm going to be a professional magician, worry about my brothers. That's what I'm going to do. And she was a great mother. She was this was back in the 70s. She used to drop me off at these little magic gatherings and festivals or send me on a bus to a different state at the age of 12 and 13 and 14 with a note pinned to my, and she let me go, and I've been just swimming around in this world of magic ever since. Yeah.
Is there a big difference in the magic scene between the UK and the US, do you think?
With regards to the performance, the audiences, because I think every culture in the world has areas of magic that they strive in more. So, for example, in the UK, Derren Brown has been a massive figure here, so that type of entertainment, the more mentalism type stuff, has become more popular. We see a lot of Asian magicians are more interested in the manipulation type. America, I find it's really quality close-up magic there. So, I mean, really every country seems to have the thing that they are best at, and it's always nice to visit these places and become, more inspired by their approach.
Yeah, and the Illusionists felt like a very international cast, which I thought was
absolutely,
great.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Final question from me. So if you have any audience questions, do please go stand behind the mic in the middle. YouTube, Google owns YouTube, and so what do you think of magic on YouTube as a sort of
well, I'll
thing?
tell you the thing that YouTube has really done is, obviously promote the art. When I was a kid, when I was 12 years old and I wanted to learn a move or a trick, I had to wait until that next magic festival in the summertime in Colin, Michigan, when I would meet my friend again and we could swap stories, or maybe I'd write a letter, and that's how the magicians communicated. But now you have somebody in Ohio, a 12-year-old kid, put a move on YouTube, and a half an hour later, somebody in Singapore has made an improvement, and they're crowdsourcing this idea, and it's amazing the rapid advancement made possible by YouTube. Yeah.
Rob.
Hello. I was just wondering how often things go wrong, if they do, and what you normally do to cover them. Do you admit it? Do you try and work around it, or something else?
Well, some nights in the Shaftesbury you'll see the best illusion show you've ever seen, and other nights you'll see the best comedy show you've ever seen. So, I mean, that's the thing, right? The more you any speaker, the more you stand in front of an audience, you learn to just relax, become aware. If things go wrong, do you know what? At the end of the day, hopefully no one's died, right? We're still, we're all human, and fingers crossed. So yeah, you laugh about it, you move on, and you make it still as entertaining and as enjoyable as possible, right? It's designed to be fun.
Yeah, and for a live show, in my act, I have the most dangerous act in the show because I bring up children on stage and I give them the microphone and I let them say whatever's on their minds.
You had the show I saw on Saturday, you had a 4-year-old, which I thought was...
Oh, it's fantastic.
Really,
yeah. And they're right on the knife's edge of whether, wetting their pants and crying or, having a wonderful time. You don't know what's going to happen. And I'm talking about some of the performers too. Yeah, I'm talking about. But so I embrace the chaos. So you're almost kind of feeding little seeds out, hoping that something unexpected, because as Colin says, that's where the gold is, when something real and human and off script happens. And so that's the beauty of having a live show.
Do you guys plan for different eventualities, or is there always like a fix?
Over time, they just kind of take root. You have different pathways you know you can take. You don't panic as much. But yeah, early on.
And certain ad libs become learned, and just in the bank of if something happens, you'll know that you can, tap into it and just keep the show moving in the right direction.
But every so often, things happen that you're gobsmacked and you stand there. Like when the train didn't appear the other night.
Yeah. Quite the sentence when you don't know what we're talking about. Sounds like we missed our lift home. Yeah. He does mean in the show it's amazing. It is amazing, right? But so technical things can happen, and but you laugh about it, you move on, and you just pick it up and you just do more amazing things later to cover it.
And that's the thing about our show. If you don't like what's happening, don't worry, 10 minutes later, something completely different will be happening. And it moves very fast.
Right. How do you deal, because I think of the two of you, you work with the audience most. If I think,
and Jamie does.
And Jamie does as well. How do you deal with different audience members? Do you get good at picking the right people and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, I think it becomes like anything. Like even standing here, I could look out and see the people that you can tell who just want to sit there and watch and pick it apart and try and work out what's happening. And then you get the people who you can tell, and thank you for helping again, but who are going to be good characters, and you can tell who's going to be difficult on stage.
Like
Jan. And more who to avoid and more who to aim towards. And ultimately, I think the goal of any performer is to make other people look good as possible, and bring out the best in people. And really, if I bring someone up and they look bad, that reflects on me. I want to bring people up, make them look good, feel good, because then it just carries the show.
Very good. Any more questions? Yes.
So since you mentioned YouTube, one question came to mind. Do you think that the very fact that magic became so popular, and you can see the explanation of so many tricks on YouTube and on the internet in general, do you think it affected the show of people somehow figuring out parts of some tricks? And do you think this actually matters? Will the people enjoy the show, in your opinion, even if they figure it out?
It's a good question.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, ultimately I would hope that even if I stand on stage and do nothing, hopefully I'm entertaining enough that, you'll enjoy that time. So the other things hopefully then become the fuel to the fire to then make it the Illusionist and, show that it is, essentially. But things like YouTube and things being picked apart, if people are going to go looking for the methods, it's because they have a genuine interest in that way of thinking and being inspired by it. So on some level, we had to learn at some point how things worked as well. And if people go to the lens to find out how things are done, then it's because, they are passionate about it to some extent. But I also think people who just want to enjoy the magic will never go looking anyway. So it's.
But it is a new phenomenon to have somebody in the audience with their phone bringing up a video of how they just did that trick. I mean, who didn't have to deal with that? And we do. And there's a wonderful Asian performer. He's from Taiwan, but he was on television, CCTV in China. And it's a different culture there. They don't have a history of theatrical magic. And when he went on the largest television program and did his close-up magic, before the end of the program, there were, I think it was Youku, right? Is that the Chinese sort of mic?
Baidu. Is it Baidu?
Could be it.
The
Anyway,
search engine. Okay.
before it was viral, somebody had made a 3D rendering of how the table worked. And that made front page news the next day. So it was a game of cat and mouse. And he found himself constantly battling. And that was the narrative, was let's catch out this performer every time he goes on TV, rather than what a wonderful show and, an entertainer. It was like it's a cat and mouse game.
Interesting.
What I have found interesting with it, though, is that people that see the YouTube video, then when that conversation comes up in a social setting, they will try and reenact it for their friends, and they'll try and act it out, and they immediately see how difficult it actually is. And what it does is, even if you know how it's done, knowing how it's done and being able to do it are two very different things. And I think it's helped people realize the amount of practice and dedication that needs to go into, for example, the manipulator that you see in the show. I mean, it looks so magical, and it's utter raw skill that he's put in the time to make this wonderful artistic piece. And it's, even my watching it, I introduce him and I'm on right after him, so I see it every night, and even seeing it, now 30 times in a row, you still need to admire how wonderful that is that he's able to
The
make
most wonderful moment in the show is when Den, our manipulator, is on stage. All the other magicians are now in the wings, watching from the wings every night. And it's just a wonderful picture. Yeah.
And you close with Den doing
some
illusion.
close-up magic, a
And
very
you're
nice
all on
piece.
stage at the same time.
Yeah.
And I just felt you were all going, this guy's amazing.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A magician's magician, if you will.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. I wondered what your opinion of people like Darren Brown and Dynamo and David Blaine. Are they the best of their field, or
Who? Sorry.
Never heard of him.
like did they just get lucky, or are they the best guys in
Luck's,
the field, or what's your?
I don't think there's anything. Luck's not, doesn't exist. I mean, these guys have worked really hard. They've been dedicated. They've surrounded themselves with the right people. They have their own wonderful, unique skill sets. But I think more importantly, audiences have bought into them as individuals, and for me that's what it's really about, is people really buying into that performer. So regardless of what they do, it's them that you want to hear more about. And really, if we take Dynamo for example, if you know who Dynamo is, you also know to an extent his story, and you've bought into that, and it's all true, but you feel like you know him, you've that association. Darren had his approach. David Blaine, when he reignited magic on TV, certainly in this country, have their own approach to it, and really found a dynamic way of sharing magic with audiences. So you need to absolutely, in my opinion, respect all of that, because it all adds to it, and it's all absolutely wonderful.
Do you have a collaborator you work with? Because Darren works with Andy Nyman quite a lot on his shows. Do you work with someone to...
Yeah.
Or even a director for stage presence and stuff?
For my stage show, yeah. The guy who's my manager, Don, also is like the guy who I will speak to everything about, essentially. And everything I've ever written, basically, because some of the comedy I use can be quite, they're edgy. I need to just run it past him, and he'll rein it in or say, no, you can be a bit more free there and stuff. So he's a good safety net before I go do stuff live as well, and find the right approach and make sure that it stays true to the Sherlock stuff that it is I love doing on stage. And now moving more into TV, it's a case of, so still Dawn, who I write everything with, and I'm branching it out to my colleague Mark, who's sat over in the wings as well. So just because these guys have been, certainly Mark, involved with TV before and know my bringing what I do to TV, how to very quickly fine-tune it and make sure
TV is a different medium to things.
Absolutely right. So it's important, again, like Dynamo or Darren, knowing that you don't have the entire skill set, even in this room, knowing that we don't know how the cameras or lights work. You're getting the right people to do those jobs to make the complete package as good as it can be.
Brilliant. Final question.
Hey guys, great performance earlier. Magic's a performance art where I think you're constantly asked to prove yourself in every setting. So if we had like a ballerina here, we might have not have asked her to do a dance, for example. I just wanted to know how that affects you as a performer, that pressure.
What was, say the opening again,
So
to prove yourself, essentially. See, in the sense of, it's interesting.
If you were to introduce yourself as a magician, someone would go, oh, show me a trick.
Oh, yeah. I very much try and... the good thing is everything I do pretty much involves like the mind and memory and stuff, so I can very much recreate what I do anywhere with the right people and the right mindset. But I don't know, how do you feel about it? Because...
I try to go in to these situations by lowering their expectations, of course, and then exceeding them. And, I do that by dressing like this, and... your general attitude of incompetence and so forth, and then hopefully you have something left in the bag to wallop them with.
All right. Well, we will leave it there.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
Yeah. Set expectations. We'll take that.
Yeah.
All right. Brilliant.
I'm not saying when you come to our show, lower your expectations.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
It's really very good.
Me personally, when you have lunch with me, that's what I'm saying.
Really very good. Please join me in a massive round of applause for Colin and Dave.
Thank you.